This is the last podcast with Bryan Renaud and Sheena Thornton, presented by Random Max.
How you been, Sheena?
Whew, I've been well. How have you been?
Been well as well.
Yeah.
And cicadas? Good.
They've been good.
Glad to hear it.
Whew. We'll intro this podcast at some point. You just came back to the movie theater for the first time.
I did. I went saw a movie for the first time since February 2020.
How was it?
The experience was interesting to be around people and
In a room of strangers.
You know, movie theaters are pretty dirty and gross in general. But, you know, I had a trip coming up, so I was like, if I'm going to go on this trip, I might as well go see something in a theater. We're all masked, whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, we went to see CANDYMAN.
We did go see CANDYMAN.
CANDYMAN 2021.
I've been back. I've been back.
You've seen like 10 movies.
I've been back to the theater. The first thing I went back to see at an AMC was old.
At an AMC.
AMC's the grossest.
Our sponsor, AMC.
AMC's the grossest. But we went to see CANDYMAN together.
CANDYMAN together.
We did.
Yes. And I think the original is a favorite for both of us.
It's a near perfect film.
Yeah, it's... For me, it's with, like, Halloween,
Yes.
Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th.
My mother scared me with CANDYMAN. I was like 10. Terrifying. He's the first black horror villain. So CANDYMAN's the thing.
And what do you think about the fact that he wasn't written to be black?
Right.
And that they made him black for the movie?
Right. It is based on that short story, The Farewell. Or no, not The Farewell. The Forbidden?
I think it's The Forbidden.
I think it's The Forbidden.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's in
Baker.
Liverpool,
England.
Yeah.
It's in Liverpool. So the fact that they put it in Cabrini Green.
It transferred so perfectly.
Holy shit.
People today, I feel like we're kind of like the last age group that like knows of Cabrini Green as like a normal life thing. It's like
still
a fable.
there.
It's like a fable to people now.
And that's why CANDYMAN fits in so well.
Right.
It is a gothic love story set in Cabrini Green.
It's a story about obsession on multiple levels. We're literally just like, we both love it.
We're just both like obsessing over CANDYMAN right now.
I'm just like into any detail. We're just raving about it.
I have notes here.
Madsen and Tony Todd.
Tony Todd.
Perfect casting.
I just listened to Tony Todd's. Have you listened to Eli Roth's History of Horror, his podcast?
Mm-mm.
Holy shit! Yeah. You seen Horror Noir?
Yes.
Yes. It kind of like spins off that. Like there's a podcast that kind of goes off of that. Horror Noir, but it was before. Tony Todd is the man.
He's amazing.
He has a crazy theater background.
He's been a busy guy.
He's been a busy man. I deep dived into it. Listen to that podcast. I won't go into it because it's its own thing. But check that out. But he got cast in like the weirdest way. Like Eddie Murphy was supposed to be CANDYMAN at one point. Yeah, right? Like that seems fucking insane.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy was gonna do it, but then Tony Todd showed up and he was just a 6-foot fucking just gallant theater background.
Like he's just like a man.
Fucking man. And they were like, this is our CANDYMAN.
Yeah, and his voice.
You gotta listen to that podcast. His voice, just everything about him is just fucking just brilliant and just romantic, but also just like, yeah, CANDYMAN is black legend, and I'm here for it. So yeah, how did you feel? I want to know, like, as a white person.
I mean,
did you like this new film, or did you? Well, the original first, of course, you liked it.
The original, I have always fucking loved. I've been a horror junkie since like before high school, I would say. Like making sure I saw every Friday the 13th, every Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I could not miss a movie, in one of these series.
Fair.
And so CANDYMAN for me was one of those I had to see, but I didn't know like anyone who watched it, anyone who talked about it. We would talk about the legend in kind of the same way as Bloody Mary, like he'll appear
Bloody
in
Mary.
the mirror.
I forgot.
But nobody ever suggested we watch CANDYMAN or anything like that. So I didn't really start like watching it with people or talking about it with people until I was more of an adult and like in Chicago.
Where'd you grow up?
just outside of Chicago, but like literally, I don't know if it's just because it was considered a black horror movie.
It is 100% a black horror movie.
Also, it has a white heroine,
It
so you would
does.
think that it would be an in for these white people in suburbia.
And that's the criticism.
I would say the most interesting commentary to me about the new movie is how they let Helen take the blame for all of that.
Yeah.
So, like, looking back on it, you're just like, wow, this white lady went crazy and caused mass black
in
death.
a black community.
Right.
And that brings me to my point where people are like, oh, he's vengeance. He's getting revenge.
'Cause he was a
no.
slave.
He is black rage personified.
But that's what the new movie said.
Kind
Do you
of.
not feel that way?
Oh, no.
Really?
No.
That is completely the message that I took from it.
I think they tried to present him that way. But they did not succeed. But I think he's just pent up black rage in a black community that it's displaced. And so the fact that Candyman kills a ton of people in his own community over a white woman.
That's a very, very interesting point.
Like, and people hate it.
Yeah.
They're like, he's obsessed with a white woman, so now he's this crazy black man.
Right.
No, he wasn't allowed to love who he wanted to love, and he's just displaced now, and he's taking it out on the community that...
Well, and also there's the argument that it's like it's not even him choosing who he takes it out on because it's based on who calls him. So...
It is true. I've never thought of it that way.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Are you afraid of the dark? Maybe you were. Maybe you are. Maybe you should be. This October, join Random Acts for Scary Stories Around the Fire, featuring 5 horrifying audio tales. The Scary Stories experience will be available at youtube.com/randomacts or wherever you enjoy your podcasts. Visit randomactschicago.com for more.
Welcome back. We hope you were late.
We hope you were late. We were late. We were late.
We were
back.
late to ourselves.
I was late. Thank you for hoping that.
My main issue? I think it should have been called CANDYMAN. Do you feel that, though?
Please go into it.
Because, I mean, the first one opens the door because Helen becomes a kind of candy woman at the end by coming back and killing her husband.
Which I think is so strange
It's
to me.
very odd and out of place, but, shocking ending. And also, I'm like, if we're blaming Helen for all the murders, then what do we say about her husband who dies after Helen is dead?
I never thought of that. But also, like,
Plot hole.
why does it take... Like, why does she take over that legend?
I don't know if it's necessarily her taking over the legend, but I think it's like how the new one introduces that these black men who are killed in vain come to take on the Candyman role because that's how their community is dealing with it. I think that they're essentially saying the same thing about Helen, where because she was unjustly killed by the Candyman, she is now this spirit herself. So, like, if you go to the mirror and say Helen Lyle,
doesn't he do that at the end? Doesn't he say her?
He says her name in the bathroom because he misses her, and his like new girlfriend is in the kitchen, like mad because he doesn't
misses
like her as much.
Because he misses
Which
her.
also just, oh my god, the allusions in the first one of like the apartments, how they're identical and they go through the mirror and everything. It's just all so fucking good. It's
a near perfect film. The
first one. Score by Philip Glass is incredible. It is with the Halloween score. It is with the Exorcist score. Like, it is an iconic horror score.
It should have honestly been in this new one more.
That
like I would
the Candyman thing, although I stand by that.
We'll come back to that.
That they did not use the score was so disappointing to me.
Credits.
And I know it's on the credits, but fuck that. Fuck that. Like, when he was turning into the Candyman, play that Candyman theme. Or if you're not going to do it then, play it when you see Tony Todd on screen. Give it to me in the movie.
Ample
even
opportunity.
just for 1 minute. But no, credits only. That tells me they didn't want to use it. They felt obligated for the fans, so they said, we'll put it on the credits. That, to me, is worse than just not using it at all.
Fair.
It was a wasted opportunity because it is just like the Halloween score. It just sends chills up your spine.
And they would never not use the Halloween score.
Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie did not use the Halloween score
shit.
until the end credits.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry.
I had a similar complaint with that movie, but it wasn't as bad as Candyman.
I did not catch that.
Well, that we'll talk about in the Halloween
I did
episode.
not catch that. I'm blown away right now. What?
Halloween 2, 2009.
He doesn't hit that score?
That score does not hit until the credits roll, I promise you. I promise you. Did you know Octavia Spencer's in that? I know you do, of course. Oscar winner Octavia Spencer has like a no-line role, basically.
This will come.
This is the Halloween
episode.
This
will come in another episode. But Halloween 2 is one of my favorite.
It's just almost not even a Halloween movie, but I appreciate that so much.
It's a Rob Zombie movie through and through.
It is wild. It is wild.
It's fucking buck wild.
What's the difference between jam and jelly? Don't you answer that on this podcast.
Buck wild.
And don't you Google it either.
The first starts. The short story starts in Liverpool, London,
right.
Or Liverpool.
British.
It's British. She's British. She's British. But it got to Cabrini Green because a woman in real life got murdered. Her name was Ruthie Ann McCoy. She was 52 years old. And she was like schizophrenic and living in Cabrini Green and a little paranoid. So nobody really like paid much attention to what she had going on. But neighbors called the cops one night because the sirens, holy shit.
How perfect.
They called the cops one night. We're pretty close to Cabrini Green. Not gonna lie.
Close-ish.
Yeah, close-ish.
We are kind of close to Cabrini Green.
Fuck
Cabrini Green, I say.
Cabrini Green. So Ruthie is in her house, being 52, living her best life in Cabrini Green. And nobody takes her seriously because she's schizophrenic, paranoid. But the cops get a call one night that someone's coming through her bathroom mirror.
Yes, I remember this scene.
Yeah, they're coming through her bathroom mirror. But then neighbors call the cops for gunshots. 2 days later, they find Ruthie dead in her apartment in Cabrini Green. People have entered her home through a hole through her vanity mirror in her bathroom.
Right. It was connected to the mirror image apartment.
Yeah, so they come through to escape from something.
And she's there.
And they shoot her dead, and nobody believed her
because... And the cops
because...
just thought she was crazy.
Yeah, everybody just thought she was crazy. Her neighbors also, and then they were like, we heard gunshots here, so...
That's just horrifying. It's so horrifying on so many levels.
Exactly. What the fuck?
You lock every door, every window is shut, and someone can come in through your mirror. But it also, like, it just made for perfect imagery in the movie.
Fair, yeah.
I always wondered if it was, like, the same set that they decorated in two different ways, or if they built it twice.
I think they built it twice because there's parts where they filmed at Cabrini Green, but then the rest of it is filmed in Los Angeles.
Yeah, but I don't think any of the apartments
like a
were
soundstage. Some of them were Los Angeles sets.
But
yeah.
I love the filming at Cabrini Green. I love that it was captured before it was taken down. It's so brilliant, and I think... Did we go into CANDYMAN?
We did not go to CANDYMAN. Why do you think it should be called CANDYMAN? Because a white woman ends the sequel, which makes me think that this might be the true sequel. Even though it sucks, this might be the true sequel, because...
Well, it sucks.
Not Farewell to the Flesh. The new one is like...
You think it sucks?
I think it's kind of not great.
I don't think it sucks. I think it was good.
I think it could have done better with more people of color in decision-making roles.
Agree.
There's two. There's director and there's Jordan Peele.
Right. It's like enough for the
one
press
is a man,
release,
though.
And then it's like the rest are just the typical.
And one is being taken advantage of on our own set and put into awkward and racist situations. So it's horrible.
It's like she's made it and she's still dealing with the same fucking
and
shit.
She's dealing with a black man's name coming before her own.
Yeah. She's erased.
She's gone. And granted that my autocorrect called her Nina a lot of times, and I fixed this because Twitter needs a edit button, but
well, she's gonna have a big fucking moment when the Marvels comes out.
I she will, and I have a problem with Marvel movies, and that's a completely different episode.
Same. But Candyman. So the first, looking at this as a 2-part franchise, momentarily skipping over parts 2 and 3 that came out.
I don't understand 3, to be
The
honest
first
with you.
Candyman, it ended with Helen becoming her own kind of legend, kind of her own Candyman.
Right. A Bloody Mary, if you will.
So this new sequel reboot,
It's a secret. I've called it so many things.
you know, it introduced the story of this new Candyman that was the main Candyman through the movie.
Right.
While we also saw the new leading man, the most beautiful person on earth, turning into a new Candyman as well. So, and then we also see the Tony Todd version at the very end. So they talk about how all these black men who have been killed over time, essentially they live on in legend.
That's very true.
As a way of dealing with it, they become Candymen. Why not call it Candyman?
And if the first sequel is a true sequel, and this is the squeakquel or whatever
We're
you
going
call
back
it.
to Farewell to the Flesh
Yeah,
now?
Farewell
Like
to-
97?
Yeah.
6? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You know, I think it's 6, 7.
6, 7? That ends with a woman becoming Candyman. So we're squeakling in this, and what did you call it? It's like a sequel prequel.
The woman in Farewell to the Flesh, that is Kirsten from the OC.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's Kirsten from the OC. I had such... Right? Kirsten's the mom's name?
Yeah. What? No way. In Farewell to the Flesh?
Yeah. She's the lead. And I had such a crush on her in my mom face. When I watched the OC, I was in love with her. But yeah, she's in the sequel. And both... If I remember correctly,
her.
I've never revisited the third one because Day of the Dead was so terrible.
I can't distinguish the two apart. The
one
Farewell
was
to
very
the Flesh,
90s,
but
and then Day of the Dead is like a music video from the 2000s / porn movie. Nobody tried. It was absolutely terrible. And the third one does not even have the Philip Glass music. It's
isn't
like
it the same plot?
They recycle most of the plot from the second one, and I'm pretty positive that in both the second and the third one, the twist is that this white woman is related to Candyman. So they don't want to cast any people of color, but this big twist is I'm a descendant of Candyman. It's a bunch of bullshit.
I'm so upset.
So was this new one perfect? No. Was it the best one since the original?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Farewell to the Flesh sucks. The pacing is terrible.
Who made Farewell to the Flesh?
I don't fucking know.
Because I feel like a black woman made this and it should have been better.
Could it have been better?
It should have been better. But
also,
did she endure some
was
shitty
the Halloween
things though?
sequel perfect? No.
No, it was not perfect.
Both
she
Halloween
was his sister.
and Candyman, there are things I, as a massive fan, would have done differently.
I had a brief moment where I argued, because Texas Chainsaw Massacre has the original.
85,000 movies.
It has the original, but then the sequel, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, comes out like almost a decade later.
Right. And it's a comedy.
It is. That's a different situation. We'll get into that. Slap her grandpa. But.
And then they have the Next Generation, so they already did like a reboot.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise is a fucking mess.
And then they did a remake.
And then a remake, and then another reboot.
Prequel.
But then a prequel
And
to
then
the
a
remake.
reboot, and then they did a prequel.
They did
a prequel to the original.
Begins is a prequel to the remake.
And then the new one.
Or to the reboot.
Is going to straight to Netflix. Did you know that? The cops are back because we're off topic.
The fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise is a goddamn mess. Like, it is a full mess.
I have a soft spot in my heart, and honestly,
I love it.
Chainsaw, what was it? 2014 with Alexandra Daddario. I
didn't
actually
watch
really
it.
liked it.
Oh wait, is that Generations or
No, it was just Texas Chainsaw. Is all they called it. Yeah, they said fuck it. Thank you for joining us for our Candyman special. As you heard, the Halloween special is right around the corner. Be safe out there.
Be safe. I hope they kill Laurie Strode.
I hope they don't kill her until Halloween ends.
I would really love Laurie Strode to die right now. She's been through enough.
That's really mean. She died in Resurrection in 2002.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been the last podcast with Bryan Renaud and Sheena Thornton. Visit randomactchicago.com for more.